Don't you know you have a spirit? Don't you a voice, a vibration, a frequency, a connection, and that's how that works. But you are a source, light, and yes, you are a God. Yes, everybody, they don't want to believe it. They don't want to accept it. You know, some of them they feel well. They want to throw criticism because they don't have the level of limits that you have. They don't have a spirit, and you got a spirit in you. And let me tell you something. As far as Jesus or Jesus or whatever, he ain't God. All he is a light, and it's Gnostic, Gnosis, magic, spells. It's just like the book, The Wisdom of Solomon. It sigils. Yeah, that's why I took it out. Enoch went up with spells. See, and it's like as I say this, I love you, and it's knowledge. And you have to know knowledge yourself. And you right.
It's going well. How are you? I spoke to you once before. Um, how are you? I don't have my glasses on, unfortunately, but you said there's no evidence, no good evidence, to a God. I went into this long story with you before, but I won't do that. I know it's your panel. I just know for myself, just from being in church. I'm not saying that I'm a believer in the church, but I am a believer in the word. I can't say every single, but we're not supposed to take anything out. I do, just through my own experiences. I mean, and the more I'm on TikTok, it's so super confusing because I was on someone's page who was a Satanist. She's like very faithful, and I'm curious. Even when you're asking the questions, everyone has a different belief in a God, and I notice you have a little G, which people, it seems, they all think, just like the gentleman that just went down, that they're their own God. I believe there's a higher power. Even if you take and you look at the birth of a little baby, I could never make that and do that myself. So how am I going to take credit? We can't see him, but we can definitely feel him. And if you've ever been through a lot, and you've seen and you've gotten through those things, I'm not saying counseling and friends and all the stuff that we have, but there's a higher power. Um, and I can't explain it, I can't see it, but I believe it. No, I don't think it's feelings. It's deeper than that. I think that I just don't think that why we know conception, our parents, a man and a woman, we understand that. But from the very beginnings of the earth, if we believe how Adam and Eve was here, and everyone has a different Adam and Eve in their Bibles or whatever they believe in, but I go back to creation. I do believe in that. Well, I'm a believer and I've gone through Christian church. I just prayed with the Muslims during Ramadan. They do a lot of pushing and converting. I was conversing with Jehovah Witnesses. Everyone seems to have a different belief system, but it all points back to a God. I can't tell people what to believe, but obviously I believe mine. I believe as in the Christian faith. I do. Well, we do have to judge, and we have to do our research, and everyone's going back to their roots into Ethiopia and the Moors, and we're all over the map, but you have to believe in something. I think we can scrap it all basically, and just believe in God, and do the right things. We don't even follow the 10 commandments, and everybody has something that has a 10 in it, or 12 in it, a 7 in it. It's something people are drawing themselves to. And so I just happen to stick with the Christian faith. I happen to stick with the Bible, and I definitely stick to my experience, not my emotions, not my feelings, but that I am a spirit. I'm a living, breathing spirit, and I believe that. Okay. And enlighten me, why isn't it real? What is real then? Is there nothing real? We just got here on our own and from the beginning of time? Okay. I I don't know why we should believe that. I do. I do. Yeah. Well, there's lots of things that we don't see, but we put our faith and our trust in it, right? I mean, every day we get up and we get into a car that somebody else made. If we sit in a chair, we can see those things, of course, but moving, walking, breathing. I mean, there's just so many things biologically. We have to believe in something, and that's just where I'm sticking, right? I guess I don't know. I can't answer for anyone else. I can only answer for me. I can't. We know we can't see God, but I think we see God moving in the everyday things of life that we do. I just don't take it for granted. I don't think the body working and the things that's happening and how we were created. I don't take that for granted or lightly, and I think it's a higher power. I believe there's a higher power than myself. As to the reason I'm doing the things I'm doing, the things that I've gotten through in life, that's just where I stand.
I mean, yeah. I don't think there's any. I don't think like esoterically there's any issue with that all the way. What I'm saying is that like what I'm saying is that why would you trust something that does not have any evidence? Like for example, if I were to tell you that I had $10 million in the Bahamas, quit your job and go to me to the Bahamas, are you gonna do it just because I say so?
Absolutely not.
Right,
Most people that
because you have no evidence of what I'm saying is true, right?
right. And
Right.
even if you did have evidence, I mean, it's deeper than that. I mean, I'm not that shallow to even follow somebody with money. So,
Yeah, exactly.
right.
You don't have to be shallow, but the fact of me just saying that, you're not just gonna believe it and follow me to the Bahamas. Like it's ridiculous to actually believe that. So what I'm saying is that why don't we apply this to everything else in religious texts when we see that what they're saying is not apparently true? Why trust that? That's what I'm trying to get to. Like I understand like esoterically, believing in something, higher. Like for example, I know humanity, all of humanity is quote unquote higher than myself. You know what I mean? And sure, I believe in the power of humanity to do better, but that doesn't mean that I deify humanity in of itself. That makes sense.
I think everyone's making sense, right? Even the Satanists. I didn't agree with them. But here's the point: we're never really going to change everybody's mind. And I'm never going to, just how I spent some of Ramadan with the Muslims, and they're dedicated trying to get me to believe what they believe, and that we all believe in God. I'm not switching to become Muslim. That's not my. I can't say I won't. I mean, we have a lot of I have the same values that they have, pretty much, but we should all have values. I'm not going to believe in a God where people believe in unaliving people and drinking things that they shouldn't drink. Those are the practices I don't follow, and I don't think that I would think that's a God that would do that. Even though we know there's a lot of stories in the Bible that don't seem very nice, and sometimes a mean God, and people lose lives, and then they question, well, if there's a God, why didn't he save me? I just choose to believe that I did not get here alone. We didn't get here from the beginning of time alone, and that I'll follow those beliefs and practices.
I
And
mean,
and I can change, and I can change,
it's
right?
not about here getting along like we evolved.
Right. But if you're, are you trying now? I like different perspectives to see where people are coming from. Doesn't mean I'm trying to get swayed, but in asking your questions, is it because you don't believe in a God and you're trying to see if someone can prove to you that he exists?
Yeah, that and seeing why do people believe things that don't have evidence behind them. because like if I can make you believe in absurdities, I can make you commit atrocities. That's from Voltaire, and we've seen that multiple times over the course of human history.
And I agree with you. When my kids were younger, it's confusing at times, right? But I believe that God is love. I think he has given us free will to make any choice. No one's going to beat you over the head with it. Um, but if it's not wrapped in love, I told them, don't get mixed up. Don't go to and fro and trying everything. Listen, educate yourself like you're telling us to do. Do your research. And if something comes about where you feel, okay, I was wrong, I've changed, then change. But if it's not rooted in love, if it's telling you to go around and unalive people, if it's telling you, we know crazy from non-crazy, right? So that's my belief. Now, if people think that it's okay to do those type of things, I don't want any part of them, or I wouldn't want to marry into a family who believes that. Why would you?
Right.
Why
I
would
don't
you?
think anyone wants to marry into a family that's going to do terrible things, of course. But the question still kind of remains of like, number one, why believe something that has no evidence? And number two, the reason why we do this is because there are people who believe in absurd things. And again, if I could get you to believe something completely absurd, I can get you to commit things that are terrible. You know what I mean? So, and we've seen that over and over in
Exactly.
reality. That's the reason why we kind of do these lives. So
Exactly.
the questions that I'm kind of asked is that if there's no good reason to believe something, then why believe? Like for example, what do you think evolution says?
What do I think what evolution says? I don't know. Enlighten me.
All right, evolution is basically a theory of population genetics. Essentially, it just says that all organisms on this planet are related somehow, some way. And when we look into our DNA, that's what we see. Like, for example, we share 50% of our DNA with fruit flies. So that means that we know that we're all related somehow, some way. And that's the proof of that we have. Like, all organisms on this planet, probably except for trees and stuff like that, all organisms on this planet evolved from a single cell organism, and we see that through the fossil record, and we see that through genetics. So everything that we see from the creation stories, from the Quran to the Bhagavad Gita to the Bible to the Torah, all of it is apparently not true. So like if there's huge counter evidence to it, then what these religious stories telling us are apparently not true, or just mythologies from people who didn't understand what they were talking about. So at that point, stories like the creation story in the Bible, for example, if that's the foundation of Jesus, doing his sacrifice because of the first sin, if that's not true, then there's no point of Jesus either.
Okay. So let me just ask you this, and I'll let you go. Thank you for bringing me up. I understand. I think everybody in the world right now, not everyone, but a lot of people are searching, and a lot of people are confused. I think TikTok is making it even more confusing because I'm amazed at how many different beliefs there are out there, just from seeing this stuff. Not yours, but just from seeing that. So I'm curious. Do you think that we should just get rid of it altogether and just believe that we are like you have a little G? It's usually a little G is saying I'm a god, I'm a demigod. So do you believe that we are our own gods and we have nothing to look up and forward to?
I don't
And
believe
just
that we're gods at all. We're just humans. We're just people. We're
okay,
just soulless sacks of meat.
okay. So I hate bringing up her name because every time someone mentions a celebrity's name, someone can get confused by it. But the beehive, the alter personality, the I'm my own goddess or god or whatever people believe like that. You don't believe that we're our own gods and goddesses and we should be calling ourselves that as well.
Well, I think they say those things like as metaphorically. You know what I mean? We're our
Mhm.
own gods and goddesses. Like we're metaphorically those things. But as far as literally, no, we don't have powers. I wish I had powers. I would get rid of white supremacy tomorrow.
Of course. Right. And I think that's where people question God because I did go on another young lady's panel. She was super, super, super rude. So thank you for at least challenging us and not being rude to us. But listening to her talk to her guests, she was rude and her whole show was about hating God and she grew up in the church and the church ruined her and it's fake and there is no God. And I think she had the image of, is it Baphomet or something behind her? So that's where people are, and I think she had a relative who passed away, and just very bitter. And she said, if there is a God, why did that person have to go? I think people are just questioning that if there's a God, he's supposed to save us from everything. And why do we believe in something, like you said, that we can't see? So we have to trust in something. We have to have faith, right, to get us through. So I just choose to continue in that vein, and I'm not harming anyone. I'm not, I try to be a good person, and I know we can do all of those things we think on our own, but I really don't think so. There's a lot of people out here taking their own, they're not believing in anything. They're wandering, they're lost. And then when you go through something traumatic in those houses of worship, it lessens even more so your faith and your belief. But the Bible tells you not to have idols. We're not supposed to have idols before us and just believe in man. We're supposed to believe in God. And again, I can't make anybody believe that, but that's just what I believe.
All right, that's fine. All right, so
Okay.
you have anything else?
No, just thank you. I like your questioning. We should challenge everything. So thank you.
All right, not a problem. You have a good day now.
You too. Thanks.
All right, y'all. I appreciate y'all, everybody being up here. I'm having a little issue with my guest requests and everything today. Like my Video Ninja is kicking me out for some reason. So if you're on YouTube right now and you'd like to come up, give me a few minutes to figure out this Video Ninja, and then we'll go ahead and start taking guests from the YouTube streams. I see people in Deconstruction Junction talking right now. You may have to come join me on TikTok instead, because I'm trying to figure out what's going on with my video link. And once I figure that out, I'll go ahead and be able to bring you up. If you're over on my TikTok right now, shout out to y'all. Caddy, I appreciate you. Issa, I appreciate you. Big Bad Wolf, I see you there. Genderless, I see you there. Y'all keep liking this live and keep sharing. Let's try to go ahead and get some people in here. Let's try to go ahead and get some guests. For some reason, I don't know what's going on with the guest box, but I cannot see it for some reason. I'm on my second page right now, and for some reason, I don't see the guest box, but apparently the audience does. As long as y'all see it, y'all could go ahead and come up and request. That's cool. And we'll go ahead and try getting some guests. Y'all go ahead and keep liking so we can go ahead and get some guests. Hopefully this gets pushed out into the algorithm. I'm not sure if it's going to get pushed out, but looks like Deconstruction Junction is doing pretty good. My personal YouTube is doing pretty good. We're getting pushed out into the algorithm. Yeah, Dr. Joe, if you can bring up guests, go ahead and do that until I figure out what the hell is going on with TikTok. For some reason, TikTok Live doesn't have the guest requests. Oh, caddies are friendly. Caddies are friendly, so I know caddy.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to talk to you about the subject.
Yeah, not a problem.
There is no evidence for a God. That is even in my faith, Hinduism, that is true. A lot of people mistake us for being polytheistic and think that we're worshiping individual deities, but each we have a system of yantra and mantra, and mantra involves sound and frequency, and yantra involves how to make sacred spaces using geometry, using sacred geometry. But there is what we call Advaita Vedanta philosophy, which everything is Brahman, everything is source. Now, I want to point out, I'm not a full complete, I guess you could say, devotee, but because I have logic, and that's why I am in Advaita Vedanta, because Advaita Vedanta is centered in logic. So there's no consensus between infinite model science versus finite model science. So in that sense, people are just in individual camps according to how they perceive things. And when we go into the argument of free will versus determinism, there is also no consensus on that. So there's no, in larger fields of study, there's no agreement on this. There's just various people who end up studying and being in certain camps and doing certain tests and doing certain things. So when people say that they believe in a creator God, they are often doing it from a position of wanting wanting purpose. It comes from a real heavy need of wanting purpose and emotional, and also indoctrination, and what in sociology they would call nature and nurture conditioned experiences as well, which also are part of indoctrination. So a lot of people, when you're talking about belief systems, they don't really question it to a larger extent because
Hmm.
they haven't exercised the critical thinking, the self-reflection to actually go, well, who is the self, who, like, what is the self?
Right.
And they haven't really approached it from a philosophical angle.
Hmm.
So what I want to ask you is, in thermodynamics, energy cannot be created nor destroyed,
Right.
and and that's within a closed system, right? Well, now if you apply infinite model science with thermodynamics,
Hmm.
energy cannot be created nor destroyed infinitely. So that and then when going back to your point about evolution and things having sharing sharing that commonality,
Right.
um, it shows that there is an interconnected relationship, in a way, energetically speaking,
Hmm.
between everything in the cosmos itself as well, because we know if we weren't in a certain position in the cosmos, we wouldn't have the sunlight that we need to have trees, to have things. So everything is really interconnected on an in-depth level.
Right.
But how do you let's say, like, for me everything is energy, everything is Brahman, and
Hmm.
the only thing that exists is the fact that we have karma, which is how karma in a soul, which is how that one energy experiences itself. But to realize that you are that one energy, you must dissolve the illusion that you are separate from that one energy. In order to do that, you must first understand that the soul is actually illusionary, and all there is and all there always has been is that one energy we call Brahman.
Gotcha. So, I'm sorry. What were you asking me? Like how
Do
do
you
I view the
believe in?
soul?
Yeah, I mean, how do you view the? Because I view the soul as strictly a thing that energy
Mhm.
experiences itself through. You know what I'm saying? But it's not. But at its core, it's non-existent, because all there is that one energy. But it's because we get lost,
Mhm.
and we get, like, lost in the cycle of death and rebirth,
Mhm.
that we think that we are separate from the actual ultimate reality, when in actuality we are that reality. We are that. We
Yeah.
are that. I mean,
Yeah. I can.
thou are that.
Yeah, I can see it like metaphorically. You know what I mean? Like for example, when we say that black people have soul, that's basically like our talent and how we sing and our the energy that we give off when we're when we're funny or like basically soul basically the entire swag and everything of that of black folks. I can see a soul in that way, in a metaphorical way. But as far as a physical way, no. I think what you're kind of describing is more like something like akin to consciousness, and I can agree. I can like see that angle, like a soul being like just what you experience and things that you take in. You know what I'm saying? Things that you do in your everyday life, your personality, etc. I can see that. Um, I can see it describing that as your quote unquote soul. But as far as a physical material thing that goes to a certain place when you pass away, that's what I have some issues with because
Hey,
I don't think
you
there's any
really
evidence
just
of that.
to point it out to you, you really just described the perception of the jiva being illusionary and
Mm,
being a matter of mind. So this
gotcha.
idea of the soul is a matter of a mind, is a matter of mind, because again, all there is that one energy, Brahman. So and it is the idea of this soul that makes you have to be caught up in this cycle of birth, death, and reincarnation. But the idea in Hinduism is that you move through the lila, you move through the story, and you eventually come to a life where the causes and conditions are correct, so you
Hmm.
can realize the ultimate reality, and dissolve into that ultimate reality.
Gotcha.
So,
Gotcha, man.
and
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I do got to speak to the next guest, but I do appreciate you. All right, Cat. The next guest left. The last guest did leave, or are they still there? Okay, I choose. Yeah, I choose is still there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to I choose, but I appreciate you though, Caddy. You're always wonderful up here. All right, appreciate you though, man,
no problem.
for sure. I choose. How's it going?
It's going fine.
Alrighty. are you over 18 and some sort of believer?
Well, I was born in the 70s, so yes. And when it comes to belief, I have questions about the boundaries.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. Can you clarify?
Sure. Like, first of all, what would count as God?
What was the one that I'm usually
Does
talking
any
about?
deity count, or are we just talking about like
The
some sort of like capital G?
that and essentially any deity. Now there are people who are deists who believe like in a deity that exists like outside of space and time and that we can never interact with. I don't see that as very, excuse me. I see that as unfalsifiable. So there's really no way to and I see that as kind of useless. So there's really no way to talk about that one. But like yeah,
So you need usefulness in a deity.
yeah, like how do we can we interact with it? And if you have the claim to that we can interact with it, then sure, we'll go and discuss that. But if it's some sort of deity that outside of space and time and we can't interact with it, then I don't see any reason to believe in that one either.
Okay, so it has to be something we can interact with.
Yeah, I view
And
it
is
is
that a measure of the evidence as well?
yeah something that if we can detect it, then yeah, then that'll be some like kind of my standard of evidence. If you're saying that it exists but we can't detect it, I'm gonna ask you how do you know it exists then?
Well, so how does that model hold up against the like Padre Pio, everything is God?
Like Spinoza's God, it really doesn't.
Exactly,
It's
right.
kind
When
of
you're talking, well, Padre Pio is a Catholic priest, so it's a little more like existence is a deity in and of
in of itself.
right?
Yeah, I don't see a reason
In
to
and of
believe
itself.
that. Yeah, I don't see
That
a reason to believe that. Like it's kind of useless to me, to tell you the truth. Because it's like if
okay.
if I can't tell a deity, you know, different from this remote control for my light over here or my military cat card, what's what's the point of that?
Okay, so the oneness doesn't it doesn't have enough boundaries.
Yeah, it seems useless to me.
Okay. So what about like when it comes to it being a reflection of our own experience? So like your own personal Jesus,
Just
right?
call it
Because
our
people
experience.
have that come to Jesus moment. People have that come to epiphany moment, that come to realization moment. Is that process in itself invalid as a deity model?
Um, I wouldn't say invalid, but that's not usually the way that we use deity. Because again, deity is usually how we usually define it as is something that has agency and something that's detectable. If we're just gonna be like saying that esoterically our experience is God, that's I
Well,
mean
okay. So,
okay,
like as
but
an example, I made this discussion. I made this because when we look at religion and spiritual paths, and we look at like mythology and the Fae and all that stuff,
mhm,
um, a lot of it is a story about a grandpa that nobody really remembers anymore,
okay.
right? And so it's like, do you know what a townie is, Volchi?
Sort of. Like I have a vague reference of what townies are because of
It's like somebody
my
who
sixth
never
grade
leaves
reading.
home,
Yeah, exactly. Like from my
right?
sixth grade
Somebody who
reading, I
never
remember that.
leaves home.
Yeah.
And that like fae and mythology and mythical characters and mythical deities and these things, we have at least some pretty good evidence to show that they come out of the storytelling of the people in the local community.
Yeah, of course.
And it's not to explain all of it, right? It's not to explain every last detail, but we've got a fair amount of kind of credible evidence that we, think of MLK, right? This is someone we know without a doubt materially and physically existed.
Existed. Yeah, exactly. I
But
mean,
the man, the myth, the legend are three people.
yeah, exactly. Like for example, like in African mythology, right? There's a sky god named Shango. Shango really was an African king in Western Africa and the Ashanti Kingdom in the beginning of the kingdoms, because the Ashanti Kingdom lasted for thousands of years, right? So in the beginning of those kingdoms, there actually was a person named. Oh, give me a second. There actually was a person named Shango. You know what I mean? And he just got deified. So yeah, sure. They a lot of these deities that people worship nowadays, they actually may be based on a real person, and you know these basically primitive humans didn't exactly know how to explain their talent. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they got deified. I'm completely okay with that. It's just the question of are these deities actual things? Do they actually exist in our real world? And all evidence shows that they likely do not. You there?
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello?
there you are. I can hear you now. Go
All
ahead.
right. I don't know what happened. Well, I'm just saying, like, if we can acknowledge that the characters of Heracles, the characters of Jesus, the characters of God and Abraham, and all these characters, right?
Mhm.
If we can acknowledge that their genesis comes from something that actually existed,
Mhm.
whether it's a volcano or someone that they genuflect towards or a holy man or whatever, at some point that recognizes that it's real. It might not be what we think it is, right? It might not be a magical sky daddy.
Mhm.
It might not be like an all-knowing, all-powerful, omniscient deity,
Mhm.
but that doesn't mean it's not real, right? In the same way, like that Socrates and Plato,
Mhm.
there's some doubt about which one was real and which one was not real,
Right.
right? Like, but to say that whatever that mythology didn't have real consequences and didn't turn into something real,
Mhm.
like, is a little bit of a stretch.
Like when you say it, when I talk about like um isn't real, uh what I think we're talking about two different things, because something can be metaphorically like prevalent, metaphorically real, and like physically or like actual materially real. Like for example, let's take the story of Red Riding Hood, right? Red Riding Hood was a story about, you know, not speaking to strangers, and probably about a girl coming into maturity when she starts her menstruation, right? So yeah, the lesson in that is real. Like strangers or the people who are close to you may want to harm you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like all the lessons from that are real lessons. But was Red Riding Hood and the Talking Wolf real people? No.
Were they literal people, though? That's the thing,
Were
right? I think there is a difference between literal and real.
like what the was the story that Red Riding Hood based off of an actual story that actually like it was actually based off a real person. It could be based off a real person. It's like King Arthur. King Arthur was probably based off a real person, but that
Ooh,
doesn't mean
ooh,
that the entire story around King Arthur is actually real.
wait a second. But okay, so first I would disagree totally with that. What evidence would you possibly have of a real King Arthur?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. From what we can figure out, the legend of King Arthur is just a legendary story. It was probably based off of somebody like an ancient person or an ancient person in Middle East medieval England that might have been a real thing. But that doesn't mean that all the stories around him with Little John and all that good stuff. That doesn't mean that's an actual thing.
That's
Like the
Robin
Round
Hood.
Table.
Now you're
That's Robin Hood.
mixing.
I'm mixing mythologies. Yeah, that's Robin Hood. But I'm talking about like the Round Table and all that good stuff. Like that doesn't mean that's real. But King Arthur in of himself and the sword and the stone, all that could be based off of something that happened, but it's not actual rules. Like the sword and the stone might have been like a sword caught between two rocks. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just something that develops over time. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I just am not sure you see that I like when I'm saying that sort of validates its reality. And that's why I used MLK as an example, right? The man, the myth, the legend are three separate beings.
Yeah. I guess I have to understand what you mean by it validates their reality.
like it validates that these things could be based on real stuff.
Yeah, I have no problem with it being based on real stuff. I'm talking about like the supernatural elements of it. Are did those things actually happen? And I don't have any reason to believe that they did.
Sure, right. And just as Knuckles as an example, I don't know that I am agnostic about leprechauns. I'm pretty sure leprechauns are real. I
Like,
would say 70-30. You know, and that's another thing about the agnostic. It got to be 50-50?
An agnostic is usually yeah, on the fence of 50-50 and more of a I don't know than anything else.
Does that, you know what I mean about that? Like, as I am, like, say, 80% sure that George Washington existed,
I'm 100%
right?
sure we have his body.
And I am 100% sure he was an asshole. Well, I just mean like the stories, like the cherry tree. We know that's not true,
Yeah, the cherry tree wasn't true.
right? Like, but like it's pretty likely that Washington existed as a living human being.
Gotcha. Oh, I just want to correct myself real quick. That's because someone corrected me in the YouTube comments. Yeah, Shango is an ancestral spirit. The Orishas are more ancestral spirits than deities onto themselves. I think the main deity in Ifa is Olodumare, or that could be a different one. I might be thinking about voodoo. But yeah, Shango is an ancestral spirit. That is correct.
You know, and like we didn't used to always separate the two, right? When we think about ancient Hindu or ancient Egyptian kings and stuff, right? Whether they existed or not, they were considered gods.
Yeah, of course they they were considered gods, sure.
You know, like Ramsey 1 and 2. So like, what if these are people that are real?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I have no problem.
Does that make the god
God's
they're
real?
based
No.
on?
That's what I'm saying. That doesn't make the gods that they're based on real. That they could be real people, but the gods that they're based on are probably not real.
So like, okay, so what it took to become a king, right? Right, was that you had to be appointed by God.
Right. That's what they believed. Correct.
Right. So if you are king, then you must have been appointed by some God.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they believe. But now, like in humanity, we kind of know better. Like people become kings just because they had bigger armies, essentially.
Okay. I'm just saying, I think it's a little stickier than that, Volchi. I am an atheist, so I definitely don't really believe in gods. But I think that the things that make up gods are real. And that often that's good enough for people. Like that often that's enough to deify a person. Like that's what happened to Jesus, right? Whether Jesus was real, whether Jesus was miraculous or not, at this point, because people have said it, Jesus is God.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what I view as ridiculous. Just you know, him either being a talented magician or a con man, I don't think makes him a god.
Oh, I mean, some people are worshiping Trump right now. We know that motherfucker's real. I mean, his attitude is unreal.
Yeah, I agree with that. They are deifying Trump at the moment. They're definitely deifying him.
But so, if you get deified, are you, or are you just not? It's just delusion.
It's an illusion.
If a bunch of people started sending you like frankincense and myrrh and started worshiping at your feet in your office, and your wife was like, "When are these people going to go away?" Right, and then it turns to 1 million people, you know, and then it turns to 1 billion people following Volchi. Are you a god?
I would say I'm an idol. I'm not really a god.
An idol. There we go. That's a good distinction. That's interesting. All right. Thanks, man.
Not a problem. I appreciate you being up. All right, guys. Kay, I do see you in the comments. I appreciate you. I'm just waiting for more guests to come up. I'm not sure if I'm gonna hit a quick reset, but we do got 2,000 likes already. I might hit a quick reset, and for the YouTube comments, I know you guys are gonna still see me, if I do a quick reset. But I do appreciate y'all being in the comments over on the Deconstruction Junction. You guys are amazing. Keep the comments going. Over on my personal YouTube, you guys are amazing. Shout out to you, Ding Dong. Ding Dong is always here in the comments. I might hit a quick reset just to go ahead and get more guests coming up. Now you guys have already said that you can see a guest request box, right? Y'all have already said that. For some reason, I'm not seeing it over on my end, and I don't know why that is. But I'm gonna see if I can go ahead and invite some people up. All right, yeah, shit. Issa can see it. All right, Sam, go ahead and request to come up for me, please. All right, y'all. So, just a quick reminder. Yeah, go ahead and follow me on everything. You go ahead and to the link in my bio. You can see my YouTubes and my Discords. Go ahead and gift me up. I do have a gift goal. If you like what I do, please consider subscribing to me. Subscribe to my YouTube as well. Subscribe everywhere. Ooh, excuse me. Excuse me, y'all. If you are over on the YouTube comments and you would like to request to come up, go ahead. The link is pinned. You can go ahead and request to come up, and we'll go ahead and have a good discussion about it. All right. I see everybody in the Deconstruction Zone YouTube. I appreciate y'all being there. If you want to discuss something with me, go ahead and hit that request button. Well, you have to take a screenshot of it and then go to the link, because YouTube is just weird that way for some reason. And then you can go ahead and request, and we can go ahead and have a talk. Same thing if you are on the Black Atheist Coalition YouTube. Same thing if you are on my personal YouTube. You said what's with the background tonight? Are y'all seeing it? Are you not seeing the background? Y'all seeing the background, right? What this says here? No good evidence for a God. Y'all seeing that, right? You're not seeing the background? Shit. No wonder it's not working. Oh, okay. You do see it. All right, good. You do see it. All right, good. All right, because I was afraid y'all wasn't seeing the background. Maybe I should make it bigger. Is that better? Maybe I should make it bigger. Is that better? How's that? How's that? Y'all let me know how that looks now. I might change it up in a bit. That's better. All right, cool. I might go ahead and. Oh, you typically don't see the walls of my window. Yeah. I decided to switch things up tonight. I usually have like a dark background, but I decided to kind of switch things up. Yeah, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about the missing green screen. You just see the text. Looks good. Looks better. All right, cool. All right, so my YouTube is telling me things look better, but I might go ahead and let me see. Let me see if I actually can do that. I might see if I can go on a green screen, so if that makes things look better. Might not be able to do that while I'm on live, but yeah, go ahead and keep liking the live, y'all. Actually, I can. Let's see. All right, how's that? That better? Now you can see it better now, right? Yeah, that might be easier for y'all to see. Yep, easier to see when I have the black background. All right, we'll go ahead and keep it like that since it's easier to see. All right, good. Topic 6 dot. All right, cool. Since that's easier to see, we're gonna go ahead and keep it like that, y'all. Let's go ahead and keep this rolling. Go ahead and keep liking the live. That's good. All right, looks better. Looks better. All right, y'all. Y'all go ahead and keep liking the live. I might do a quick reset since we want to go ahead and get more guests. I might do a quick reset just for us to get the more guests, because I had to stop the live and go live again like several times because, you know, for some reason like some things were just not working. For some reason, some things were just not working, and I had to reset it several times. So we're gonna see what happens if I go ahead and reset it again. Yeah, good. Okay. How's that? That's better, right? Yeah, that's perfect. All right, cool. As long as it's good, as long as it's perfect, then uh Jay from Land of Hella said God is really hard to find. He is, ain't he? He is, ain't he? All right, James. James, please come on up, bro. You come up, you come to every single one of my lives, and you never actually request. Issa, go ahead and invite him up, please. Go ahead and invite him up, please, Issa, because it's like you come to every single one of my lives, bro. I'm always seeing James. Appreciate that, Issa. I'm always seeing James. All right, Hunter Green, you said that he is around and easy to find. Go ahead and hit that request button and let me know if he really is easy to find. Hit that request button. Hit that request button, Hunter. In my over my YouTube comments, go ahead and hit that request button, and then we'll talk about it. We'll see if he really is easy to find. All right, James, don't back out now, bro, because you always do that. You always do that. You come through. All right, James. The request is a link. It's pinned. Go look at the pin link. You're not gonna be able to do it because I'm on vertical. You gotta take a picture of it and then do the request. Yeah, I think TikTok is being buggy tonight because I'm not sure how we invite people anymore. All right, Hunter, if you see the guest link, because I'm on vertical over on YouTube, it's not gonna let you click it. So what you gotta do is you gotta take a picture of it, take a screenshot, and then you'll be able to go to the link when through the screenshot. It's kind of weird, I know. But once you do that, I'll see you over on my video source, and we can go ahead and have a discussion. Does he have horns and a pitchfork? Yeah, they going off of my YouTube comments, y'all. The YouTube comments are amazing. All right, so let me guess. Oh, James, you at work? Really? This guy, bro. this, this guy, man. James, we're gonna have that discussion one day, man. Because like you always hear in my YouTube you always hear in my lives, but you never come up and talk. We're gonna have a talk one day. All right, Hunter Green, let me know when you find that link. In the meantime, let me add that source to my YouTube. Yeah, Quan, they always say that. They always say they at work. That's always the thing with them. They always at work. They always can't join out because they at work. Every time. Yeah, y'all be at work, but y'all can comment and y'all can listen. But y'all always be at work. Oh man. Just stealing company time. You're right. Just be there stealing company time, boy. All right, I don't think Hunter is gonna come on up, so we're gonna go ahead and wait for more people to come through. We're at 4,000 likes, y'all. If we don't get any, hey, Issa, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Issa. If we don't get any more guests within the next 2 to 3 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and hit a quick reset. And over on my YouTube, I put the link to join. Remember, you can't find out how. Like I told you, Hunter, you have to take a screenshot of it. Take a screenshot because I'm on vertical over on YouTube. Take a screenshot of it, and then from the screenshot, you can actually click on the link. That's how that works. YouTube is weird for some reason. They don't have clickable links when it's vertical. They do have them when it's horizontal though. And I don't know why that is. Hey, W Quan, y'all. W Quan in the chat for sharing out the live that much. W Quan in the chat for sharing out the live that much. Quan is amazing. Y'all make sure to follow Quan. Quan does a book club thing that's always amazing. Okay, it didn't work for you. Don't know why. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the comments one more time. Sorry about that. Yeah, W Quan in the comment. What a big bad wolf. What up, Wolf? Wolf, when are you going live again? I haven't seen you live in a while. When are you going live again? Let me know when. All right, Hunter, I put the link in the comments again. Let me know if you see it now. Big W to the deconstruction zone, the deconstruction junction YouTube. You guys are amazing. Keep the conversation going out there. Shout out to my Black Atheist YouTube. Keep the conversation going out there. And shout out to my personal YouTube. Y'all keep the conversation going. I appreciate y'all. Jesse, how's it going, Jesse? How's it going, Jesse? I appreciate you, Jesse. How's it going? All right, y'all. So we're just going to give this about, I would say, I'm going to give this about 2 more minutes. If I do not receive another guest, I'm going to go ahead and hit a quick reset. Excuse me. I'm gonna go ahead and hit a quick reset, and then we'll go ahead and keep it trucking, keep it going, keep it talking. All right. Over on my YouTubes, y'all gonna see the TikTok in for a little bit, but then you'll see it start right back up. All right. So I'm still gonna be live over on my YouTube, because I'm gonna reset my TikTok just for us to get more guests in. And we're already at 5.1K likes. I appreciate that, y'all. When I hit the reset, let's get us back up to that. Let's get us back up to that. All right. All right. Hunter is in. All right. So where is Hunter? All right, Hunter. I do not see you in. I do not see you in, Hunter. Yeah, we just waiting to see if Hunter can go ahead and join. That's all we're waiting for. And if he cannot, within the next, I would say, within the next 30 seconds, I'm going to go ahead and just do a reset, and then we'll wait for him for later on. All right? Yo, Cats, that's a good one. That's a good one, Cats. Oh, man. Y'all hilarious out there. Y'all hilarious out there. All right, y'all. I'm going to hit a quick reset over on the TikTok side. All right. I'll be Cam. Do you want to go ahead and have a discussion? Someone invite I'll be Cam for me for real quick. I don't know. TikTok is being buggy. It's being super buggy. All right, I'll be Cam. Go ahead and come on up. Hey, yeah, Hunter, I don't see you in the control room. So let me go ahead and send this again. All right, if I'll be Cam does not come up, then I'm just gonna go ahead and restart it. And I'll put another link and all of the YouTubes to make sure. Now, Hunter, you don't need TikTok. We can do this through the video link. But if you're not getting to that link, then that's the problem that we're having. Come on, Albie Cam, don't be shy. Don't be out there, saying stuff and not coming up. Yeah, they ain't coming up. They ain't coming up. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah, they left. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and hit a quick reset. I hate when they do that. They make a comment and then they just disappear. They just leave. Yeah. I know you invited them. It's just that they leave. They always do that. They come in, make a comment, and then they leave. I don't know why that is. All right, y'all. Hey, thanks for joining the team. I appreciate that. Y'all remember to go ahead and subscribe to me. It costs less than a McChicken. It's only $2.99 to subscribe. You get a whole bunch of cool stickers. Yo, Issa, show them some of the stickers that they get. Go ahead and drop some of those stickers in the comments. Show them all the stickers that they get for being a subscriber of mine. You get a whole bunch of cool perks. You can go ahead and join the Discord. All right. Defy said they believe in many gods. That's amazing, Defy. You believe in many gods. Now tell us why. Why should we believe in those many gods? All right, y'all. So I am going to hit the quick reset on our I'm going to hit the quick reset on TikTok. I will be right back. YouTube, you're still gonna be able to see me, but TikTok won't. Appreciate you dropping all those. So y'all see all those stickers right there. All those stickers are something that you get if you subscribe to me. It costs less than a McChicken, and if you like what I do, please consider supporting me so we can improve this production and do a lot more. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit a quick reset. We got 6K likes on this one. On the next one we're gonna hit 10K. All right. I appreciate y'all. Go ahead and come on back. I'll be right back. All right, y'all. Over on YouTube, I'm gonna go ahead and just take a quick break. I'm gonna get something to drink. I'll be right back. All right. YouTube. YouTube, we is back. All right. We is back. I'm gonna go ahead and restart the TikTok live right now. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and restart the TikTok live. I believe in many God and you're multi-delusional. That's hilarious. That is a good one. All right, hopefully this one gets pushed out into the algorithm. Oh, bad, and you're multi-delusional. That's pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start up the TikTok live again. All right, we are back. All right, y'all, we is back. All right, y'all, we is back and in full effect. Let's go ahead and do it. Hey, Shelly. What's going on, Shelly? Issa, welcome back. We's back and we in full effect. Yeah, we are definitely back. We is definitely back. All right, y'all go ahead and start liking the live and let's go ahead and start liking the live and start sharing. Let's go ahead and get some more people in here. Let's get us back to 6K likes. Let's get us up to 10K for right now. Hopefully this gets pushed out into the algorithm because TikTok has been being buggy today and I don't know what's going on with it. TikTok has been buggy today and I don't know why. All right, cool. Cool. I see people coming in. I do see y'all coming in. Heating up a Creole bun? Hell yeah. Hell yeah, heat them buns up. All right, y'all. So if you want to talk about what I have on the board, why should I believe in your God, believers? I definitely would like to know why should I believe in your God. If you are a believer in anything, you're believing in the intimate of God, go ahead and come on up. Let me know why should I believe in it. Let me know why should I believe in it. And let's go ahead and have a talk. Let's go ahead and have a discussion. I think we could have a fruitful discussion, a fruitful debate. If you think there is any evidence for a God, go ahead and come on up. If you think I should believe in a God because my eternal soul is in danger, let me know why I should believe that as well. Why is your God sending me to a place of eternal damnation? Go ahead and come on up and let's have that discussion, y'all. Go ahead and come on up and let's have that discussion, y'all. If you think I should believe in a God for any reason. Alrighty, I think we do have a request. I'm bringing that person up right now. All right, I'm just a fan. You there?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. How are you doing?
I'm all right, just a fan. Are you over 18 and are you a believer in any type of God?
I am over 18 and I believe in God.
All right, cool. Is there a particular one you believe in?
Yeah, I'm Methodist.
You're a
So yeah,
Methodist,
the
so
Wesleyan tradition of Christianity.
the Christian tradition. All right, cool.
Well, the Wesleyan tradition of Christianity.
I'm not sure what that is, but well, whatever that is, cool. Why should I believe in that God?
Oh, I think it's why should you believe it? Well, I think I think that worldview describes the whys and the hows that we are here in this reality in the most simplistic Occam's razor. I think it far better describes the world that we live in.
How so?
The claims that like I would have to begin at like just a basic theistic claim. So I think that the universe presents itself in a theistic manner, and I think that a theistic worldview best describes it.
The thing is, the universe doesn't. From what we can see, the universe doesn't care about us. It doesn't present itself in any way. It just is, and we interpret it.
I mean, that's a claim you're making. I would argue that because rationality exists, because the universe is discoverable, these all point to exactly what we would expect if a rational mind created the universe.
Not really. Like, just because the universe is understandable doesn't mean that there has to be some sort of rationality behind it.
No, it doesn't. It's an abductive argument.
I'm not sure what you mean by that.
So abduction deals with like probabilities. So when we look at like competing worldviews, if like we said like reductive materialism versus like just classical theism, what would we expect from the world around us? And the fact that mathematics, science, rationality, beauty, integrity, morals, all of these things would be the things that you would expect if a rational mind created the universe. Now, this is what you wouldn't expect if it was all not made by a rational source.
That's not true at all. Because how did you even determine that's true? Because like at the end of the day, how many universes do you have to explore?
As far as I know, just this one.
Just this one, exactly. So how did you compare it to another universe where a rational mind didn't create it, and you see that these things didn't exist? There's no way to do that.
And you're right, and I didn't do that. I just started from the foundation of, okay, if a rational mind created the universe, what would that universe look like? Well, it would look a lot like the one that we live in. Now, if an irrational, non-sentient, random order created the universe, then I would not expect the universe to look like what it looks like today.
But why not?
I just don't see any reason why people would revel in beauty. People would revel in morality. People would revel in integrity. People would revel in. I don't think the universe would necessarily be as ordered as it is. I think all of these point towards what we would expect out of a rational mind.
But like there is no apparent order to the universe. It just is what it is. And the second thing, people would revel in those things because it's better for our species. Like every single species that has social interdependence has some sort of morality, and it can appreciate beauty and stuff like that. Just because like we can appreciate beauty and we have a moral system or we can understand the universe does not. It's a non sequitur to say all those things lead to a God. Just because we're rational doesn't mean that the universe cares about us.
No, but it's precisely exactly what you would expect if a rational mind created the universe.
That's just a claim, though. How do we actually show that to be true? Well, how do we show that even if a rational man didn't create the universe, we wouldn't expect this? Why would we not?
Give me. So if the universe was not created by a rational mind, what would you expect that universe to look like?
Exactly what we see now.
And then, so explain that rationality to me. Because,
like, if everything that we see in this universe is a natural process, right? A natural byproduct, meaning that if the beginning of the universe, if there even was a beginning of the universe, if it was a natural byproduct, that means everything that you just named, the appreciation of beauty, morals, empathy, intelligence, rationality. All of that is just a natural byproduct because it helps species to survive. So if we understand evolution and evolutionary psychology, and we know that these things help a species survive, it's just a natural byproduct of what the universe is. There's no supernatural needed.
So you didn't answer my question. But maybe I did a terrible job wording it.
You asked me what would I expect of the universe. I said exactly what we see now, and you said to explain that. I said if the universe is a natural byproduct, everything that you listed, from beauty to rationality to intelligibility, could also be a natural byproduct.
Explain to me how a non-God world you would expect to see beauty.
What do you mean? What do you expect to see? Beauty?
So if you're positing a non-God world, tell me the rationality that produces something that we call beauty.
Beauty, though, what we perceive as beauty is better for us to survive, because when we saw things that looked better and we ate them, we actually survived. And when we saw things that looked bad and we ate them, we died. So we appreciate beauty more. And not only that, we're pattern recognizing creatures. So things that are more beautiful to us have a pattern, like symmetry.
Okay, so like, for instance, have you ever seen something as dangerous as like a great white shark and saw beauty in it?
Like a shark?
Like a great white shark. Have you ever seen a video of it or a picture of it?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen something as dangerous and as harmful and as menacing and terrible as a great white shark, but
Mhm.
seen beauty in it.
No, because that's subjective.
Do you believe that there are people who see beauty in it?
Of course.
Great. Good. That is exactly what you would expect to happen in a theistic worldview. It's exactly what you would not expect to happen if our beauty standards only relied upon us maintaining our existence and not dying.
Not really.
Explain that.
Because like first of all, you said that's what you expect in a God worldview. That's a non sequitur because there's no way to justify that. But the
Just
second
back
thing I
up
would
your
say,
claim.
but the thing that that I would say is that beauty is not only subjective, but you can recognize something as beautiful, but realize that it's dangerous and just avoid it.
But your claim was that beauty is so from like a
Yeah, beauty helps us
reductionist-
survive. Beauty does
So
help
like,
us
so
survive.
like so yeah, from like
It help-
from like a reductionist evolutionary perspective,
Mhm.
beauty is things that increase the likelihood of passing on our genes,
Mhm.
and that's why we revel in things that we find beautiful. But a top tier predator that's as dangerous as heck.
Mhm.
How would we find beauty in that?
Because
if your reason for finding beauty is only to benefit
we find
the
we
propagation of our species.
we find beauty in how it looks. We don't find beauty in what it does.
Yeah, it looks like a killer. It
No,
looks like it's gonna eat
it
you.
looks like a kill-
lion.
right,
A
it looks-
lion.
It looks like a
Our
killer.
first predators. Our
Right.
first predators were like
Or
lions,
saber-toothed
right? 'Cause
tigers,
we
exactly.
came out of Africa.
Right.
So we came
And
out
those-
of Africa, like the
exact-
Homo
hold on.
sapiens. We
I
came out
got
of
you.
Africa. So
We know that. We know that.
probably...
So hold on. Let me just
Okay,
finish.
So then, why do we
We're-
find beauty
let me finish.
in these predators
We-
that kill us?
We find hold on. We don't find beauty in what they do, but we do find beauty in what they are. Lions are very, very beautiful, but the fact that they can kill us is why we stay away from them. The same thing with wolves.
What?
But like the fact that they can actually unalive us is why we stay away from them. We find beauty in what they are, but not what they can do to us. And we had
But
to
if
do that
your
because
cause
we had to
for
do that. We
beauty-
had to do that because we're agency detectors. Those who did not view agency in lions, guess what did? Guess what? They didn't pass along. That's how we know what things are. That's how we know which animals are dangerous and which ones are not. Because over the course of evolutionary history, the people that didn't know that they were dangerous, guess what happened? They didn't pass on their genes.
I think you need to redefine then how you believe humans perceive beauty, because I think maybe I'm misunderstanding you. So why do we, under a naturalistic worldview, how did beauty occur?
I don't know.
Okay, well, my worldview explains it.
It
Your worldview doesn't.
No,
Therefore,
my
worldview
my
is
worldview-
better at
my-
answering questions.
No,
which
my
is why
worldview-
I think
what I'm
my
saying is-
worldview is more Occam's razor. It's better. It's more efficient.
It's not.
And
It's
it
not.
also
This-
explains a wide variety of things. And
It's
not
not. It's
just
literally-
beauty. We can go through
what-
morals too. If you
Hold
want.
on, bro. What you're simply saying is God of the gaps. I don't understand how to explain this naturally. Therefore, God.
No, it's an abductive argument.
No, it's not.
literally an
It's
abductive
it's a God of the gaps. Do you?
Okay, do you know what a God of gaps is?
Yes, you don't know the answer
What
to a
is it?
question, so you're putting a God in there.
No, I have an answer to the question. I'm
Okay.
starting with what would we expect to see?
All
in a
right, but that's a
theistic
non
world?
sequitur. That's a non
So
sequitur.
it's actually it's
hold on,
working
hold on,
backwards. So
That's
it's
a
not
non.
gap.
It's a non sequitur, bro.
What does non
Just because
sequitur mean?
that one argument does have like a non sequitur is that you make a position and you make another position and follows the it doesn't follow the rest. Like it does not follow. That's what non sequitur means. It does not follow. It does not follow that I would expect to see beauty if a God exists. That doesn't
Why?
follow.
So then, well, that means
Because
that
that's
you
not
would
necessarily
have to
true.
posit an
What I'm
argument
saying, hold on, wait.
to
That's
prove
not.
that.
I don't have to posit an argument.
Yeah, you do.
What you're saying, no, I
You're
don't.
calling it a non
No,
sequitur, so let's
I'm-
talk
the
about why it's a
reason-
non sequitur.
It's a non sequitur because that's not necessarily true. You actually have to show a God exists first. It's not necessarily true that for beauty to exist, a God must exist. You need to show a God exists first and then connect them. You just can't say beauty exists,
can't
therefore
just
God.
make the-
Because I can easily say black people exist, therefore Olodumare. Do you believe in Olodumare now?
I don't know who that is.
Olodumare is the god of Western is a god of Western African voodoo. Are you gonna believe in Western African voodoo because black people exist?
No, that's
No, because it's
literally
non sequitur. Exactly.
But you're not
So,
telling me why.
okay, tell me why
a
Olodumare doesn't
classical
exist because
theistic
black people exist.
position.
Tell me
Okay,
why.
okay.
Tell me
Can
why
I get a word
Olodumare.
in?
Hold on. Tell me
Can I
why
get a
Old.
word in?
I can.
Can I put
I'm
you
gonna
to
let
the
you get in a
flames
word.
just
I'm
for a
gonna let you
second,
get in a word
brother?
with. Tell me why Olodumaru doesn't exist because there's black people.
You can't ask me a question and mute me.
I didn't
when
mute you.
Mods.
I
Well,
didn't
who
mute
muted
you.
me, man?
All right. Well, probably one of the mods muted you because you kept on interrupting me. So I'm gonna ask the question
Well,
again.
no, my voice
I'm
just
gonna ask
shut
the
up.
question again.
Anyways,
Stop interrupting. I'm
okay,
gonna ask the
you'll
question
dodge your
again.
you'll
I'm
dodge the
going to
question
ask the
I
question
asked, and
again.
you ask the question
I'm
again.
going to ask the question again. Now I muted you. I'm gonna ask the question again, and then you can unmute after I finish asking the question. If your claim is that beauty must exist, therefore God, my claim is that black people exist, therefore Olodumare and Shango. Are you going to convert to West African voodoo now?
That wasn't my argument.
It wasn't
you
your
repeat-
argument.
wait,
It wasn't your
let's just be fair.
argument. It wasn't
Can
your
you repeat
argument.
my argument back to me accurately.
You
so I
said
know
what
that
you said what we
understand?
would expect to you said if you said what would we expect to happen if if the theistic if there is a God worldview, right? What would we expect to happen? What would we expect to see if this universe was created by a natural or a rational mind, exactly, an agency behind it? What would we expect to see? And one of the examples you gave was beauty, rationality, intelligence, etc., etc. I said that that does not necessarily follow because you need to prove that the God exists first before you say you would expect that. So if you're saying that you don't need to do
That's
that
what I
after,
wanna talk
if you
about.
said that doesn't need to happen, fine.
Can we
My
talk about
claim
that?
now, okay, my claim now is that Olodumaru of West African voodoo exists because black people exist. Can you show why that's not true?
Those are not even close to the same claims.
They're exactly the same claim. If
Explain.
Olodumare exists, I expect black people to exist. I'm a black person, therefore Olodumare. It's the exact same claim. It's stupid.
Can I explore that a little bit?
No, if
Olodumare,
Olodumare
am I
exists, I
pronouncing it
expect
correctly?
black people. Black people exist, therefore
Am
Olodumare.
am I pronouncing it correctly? Olodumare?
Olodumare.
Olodumare. So
Olu.
I-
OLU. Damare.
okay, so if Olodumare says, I'm gonna create black people, and then if we look at the world and black people do exist, it would abductively give evidence towards the existence of Abdamare.
Cool. So let's convert to West African voodoo. All right, we have a
No,
West African
because
voodoo
that's not
person,
how
y'all.
you do
We
philosophy.
cool. Let's exactly. So you're
No,
so
because
that was
that's
just a
not
nonsense.
just
You
one
just proved
thing.
yourself wrong. Holy shit.
No.
All right, bro. You have a good night. You just proved
Not even
yourself
close.
wrong. This nigga
Not
just
even
proved
close.
himself wrong, y'all. You just this man just proved himself wrong. Yeah, Ife, my bad. Ife, not Voodoo. This man just proved himself wrong. He just said that's not how you do it. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. Sacker or Sracker. I'm sorry if I pronounce your name. Is that
Steven? My name is Steven. Call me Steven.
Steven? How's it going?
I'm good. What's up, bro? Sorry about these presuppositionalist arguments. They haven't really taken the logic classes yet. But-
Oh man,
But
how's
yeah,
it
I
going?
was gonna say, my argument for why you should believe is just like the tangible benefits. You know, it reduces stress, reduces anxiety in some people. The community has its own benefits. You know, the Muslim community, for example, I'm not Muslim myself, but they're very friendly and stuff. Christian community, you know, you can go to church, you can connect with a bunch of people who you can form like a network that will be beneficial to you, stuff like that.
Can I have all that without believing in a God?
You could, but it's more difficult.
I think the only reason why it's more difficult is because there's less of us. But if there were more of us, or there was more of us in a certain area, or even if you just join a community that doesn't have religion, you'll be able to have the same thing, won't you?
Yeah, but it's not gonna be like an atheist community, right? Because atheists, they're only connected by not believing in God. So you could connect to like your ethnic community or your like D&D community, whatever. But it's very easy to, like I'm Catholic, right? From Poland. When I came here to America, my family emigrated here. We just went to Catholic church. We were like, "Yo, we're Catholics. Help us out," and we got so many resources that made our immigration here much more easy, much less like difficult navigating all these
Right, right.
difficult.
I have actually said before that one of the advantages of religious communities is that it's easy to assimilate somewhere. Like if my parents grew up Protestant Christians, right? So if they were to move to like Canada or France, they'll be able to find a church immediately. Yeah, I understand that part. But what I'm saying is that every tangible benefit that you name can be found outside of religion as well. So it's not necessarily to believe in it in order to find those communities. And I would also say is that if you're just gonna believe in it, just to have the community, what happens when you honestly cannot believe in something anymore? Like what happened to me. I honestly couldn't believe it anymore, and I was afraid to leave it alone because I thought I would lose my community, but I found out more that like I can have a community without it, and people in the community will still be around and accept me. So you don't necessarily need to lose your community. Like it's just one of those things where you try to stay in it.
Yeah, if you happen to somehow lose belief, then I would say you should stay in it because of the benefits. I mean, I don't have like any logical arguments
Mhm.
other than this practical ones because it's belief, right? Like it's
Mhm.
belief. You cannot prove belief.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, of course, yeah. I get that. I get that. There's practical benefits, but there's practical benefits to me joining the Super Smash Brothers, you know, community as well. Like you can find communities outside of religion. I don't think it's necessary to have it in order to have community.
Yeah, I agree, but in my opinion, it's more you get more benefits from religious community than from other types of communities. Partly also because like many types of people are
Mhm.
in these are religious. Maybe if you're joining Super Smash Brothers community, right?
Mhm.
It's gonna be less people who are like general contractors, less people who are you know mm, like who do like work you can ask
Mhm.
for like favors from, and it's a wide community. There's like people who own businesses, people um who can provide jobs if you need one.
Okay, so there's more like there's less like when the communities get more and more niche, there are essentially like less people from the outside world within that community, right? Like Christianity, this is the biggest religion. You'll find a whole bunch of plumbers who are Christian, but Super Smash Brothers, not everybody plays that, so you're probably not gonna find a lot of plumbers, right?
Yeah, exactly, that's what I mean.
Right, right. Those type of things, like sure, but at the end of the day, that's I don't see that as a reason to stay in something that you genuinely cannot believe. Um, and if it's like abusive, you know what I mean? Like there's no reason to stay there, is there?
Yeah, well, if you talk about abuse, then of course
Hmm.
you should leave. But even if you're not a strong believer, like mm, how do I say,
Hmm.
when you go to like maybe some like D&D stuff, right?
Hmm.
If someone is into D&D but they don't really care about it that much, but there's some hardcore people, like you can just indulge into their fantasies, whatever, but there's some benefits still to yourself. Like even I would say even if you're an atheist, why not just go to a church, connect with people, get that network up, even if you don't believe, that's fine.
Yeah, yeah. I don't see any problem with networking. You know what I mean? I don't see any problem with networking. Is more on why should you believe in the God other than networking? I have no problem with networking. Like I volunteer with at risk youth in my community. You know, people of African descent, black people, we tend to be some sort of Christian and Muslim. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna have to work with church folks. Like I have no problem doing that. It's just that now should I now accept their beliefs as true just because I'm gonna be working with them on helping kids to read, etc. Like there's no reason to do that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right about that one.
Right, gotcha. All right. Do you have anything else though, Steven?
No, I don't have any more arguments. Thank you.
No, I appreciate you, man. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, y'all. I appreciate I appreciate y'all. I appreciate everybody who is coming up. I appreciate all the guests that I'm getting. We're at 4.7K likes. What about over on the YouTube? Minutemen. You asked what's the function, proving that God is false, and what's your function, proving that God is false and unhealthy? Did you mean proving that God is false is unhealthy? Is that what you meant? If that's what you meant, you can go ahead and click on that link, that join link, and we can go ahead and talk about it. Appreciate everybody who's over there on my Black Atheist Coalition channel. You guys are amazing. I appreciate y'all. Ding Dong, how's it going, man? I appreciate you being there, watching. You are an amazing person. All right, y'all. Issa, I appreciate you, Issa. Always there in my comments. Issa is a great mod. I remember to follow Issa. If you want to talk about why I should believe in your God, I might switch up the topic a bit. Let's switch up the topic. All right, let's go ahead and do this. All right, y'all. If y'all disagree with this, if y'all disagree with what I have on the board, go ahead and come on up. All right, let's see what we got. You gotta sing it to Conjunction Junction. That's funny. I know they didn't play God on the moon, golf on the moon. The green fees are too high. Yeah, true. All right, y'all. So I appreciate everybody coming up. I appreciate the discussion. If you will disagree with what I have on the board, go ahead and come on up. I appreciate all the likes and the comments. Everyone on Deconstruction Junction, keeping the conversation going. You guys are amazing. Appreciate y'all. Conjunction Junction, what's your function? Okay. Now I got you, Minutemen. All right, my bad, man. I I appreciate that. I kind of didn't catch it real quick. I kind of didn't catch it. I didn't catch it, but now I caught it. I got you now. Yeah. I caught it now. Sorry about that. I don't catch things sometimes. All right, y'all. W Issa, y'all. W Issa in the chat. W the Deconstruction Junction chat. Ding Dong, you didn't miss much. Ding Dong. You didn't miss much. All you missed was a presuppositionalist. They always come through to the lives. Presuppositionalists always come through to the lives, so you didn't actually miss much. All right, y'all. So again, I do appreciate everybody coming through. I'm gonna end the live in a little bit. Joyful Apostate is in the house. Shout out to Joyful Apostate, y'all. Joyful Apostate is definitely in the house. Y'all remember to follow Joyful Apostate. Joyful, we gotta co-host a live sometimes. We did it once, so we gotta do it again, man. I really enjoyed that. I really appreciated that too. You invited me up to come join you on your lives. Really appreciated it. So we gotta do that again one of these days. I hope to host with Justin again one of these days. We could definitely talk more about it. We got conspiracy theorists amongst us, huh? Yo, the Deconstruction Junction chat is wild, man. We got conspiracy theorists. We got all that over there. Ding Dong, Deconstruction Junction is the other YouTube channel that I'm live on right now. I'm live on several YouTube channels, as a matter of fact. Yeah, I'm live on 7 of them, as a matter of fact. Yeah, there's Deconstruction Junction. There's my YouTube, and there's the Black Atheist Coalition. There's that YouTube. I'm live on all of them. All right, y'all. Now, I do these every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We're at 5.5K likes. I do these every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. If you would like to come up on my lives and like discuss things with me, this week we're doing religion. I go live again this Saturday from 8 to 10 p.m. We're gonna be doing religion one last time, and then next week we're gonna switch into politics. So this week is religion. Next week we're gonna switch into politics. Let me give y'all a peek of what we're gonna discuss on the politics weeks. This is what we're gonna discuss for politics week. I'm gonna be talking to conservatives. I'm asking conservatives why do they think these things are bad for some reason. Because every time we speak to conservatives about any of these policies or any of these concepts, for some reason they think that they're terrible things. So we're going to talk to conservatives next week about why they think these things are bad. All right? That's just my promotion for next week. This week is religion. Next week is politics. Let me go ahead and take this off and go back to the religion one. All right, y'all. I hope y'all there next week on Deconstruction Junction for my political lives. This is, let me show it one more time. Yeah, X Spaces is where a lot of conservatives hang. I don't even call it X Spaces. I call it Twitter Spaces. Twitter Spaces is where a lot of conservatives hang. So I may go live on my Twitter. That's going to be my first time doing that. I may go live on my Twitter. But next week, we're going to be talking politics, and this is going to be the topic of discussion. And yeah, I might go live on my Twitter just to see just to see how many people I get, just to see if we're going to get some people there. All right, yeah, y'all. So this is the topic for next week. We're going to be talking to conservatives. And I might even bring this up. I might even do this. Because they definitely hate that. I know if I go live on Twitter and I have this up, they're definitely gonna be pissed off. So I might do that just for the laughs. Just for the laughs. All right, y'all. Yo, the deconstruction junction. You can't see all of it. Give me a second. Let me see what you can't see. All right, Issa. Do I need to move it to the left or to the right a bit? Do I need to move it more to my right? How's that? Is that good? It was way to the left. All right, how about that? Is that good? Is that better now? Let me see if I can make it a little bigger. Let me know how that is, Issa. Is that if that's better? As a matter of fact, let me drop myself. All right, cool. That's better? Okay, yeah. From what I could see, that's better. Yeah, from what I could see, that's better. That's perfect. All right, cool. So this is what I'm going to have. The topic of discussion next week is going to be this. That's going to be my political week. All right, I'm going to have this up. I may have this up as well. Yep, I may have this up as well. But this week, we're still going to be on religion. So we're talking about this week. All right, y'all. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here in a few minutes. Remember to come back here. I do this every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays from 8 to 10 p.m. If you like the work that I do, consider subscribing to me on my TikTok. On TikTok, subscribing to me is only $2.99. It costs less than a McChicken. If you could go to McDonald's and buy a McChicken, you can go ahead and subscribe to me as well. It's only $2.99, and I appreciate everyone who will. If you want to follow me on my YouTube is Volcy Thoughts, VOLCY Thoughts. You can go ahead and join me on there. Deconstruction Junction as well. Deconstruction Junction is looks like a great place to be. Shout out to everybody on Deconstruction Junction. You can also follow me on the Black Atheist Coalition over on YouTube. All these links are in my bio. You can go ahead and check me out. So Saturday, I will be doing religion again. And then come next Tuesday, that's when we will be moving over into politics. I should be getting a lot more people there. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry, y'all. Little gassy tonight. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, that was a bad one. That was a bad one. Sorry, y'all. Little gassy tonight. I'm sorry, y'all. That was rude. A little gassy tonight. I do apologize. You can hear my wife. Yeah, my wife is over there just laughing her ass off at me. Man, they said they can hear you. Oh, they said they can hear you over there. Oh my goodness. Yeah, yeah, she is cracking up. She cracking up over there, man. My goodness. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, y'all. So I do these all again. I do these every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 8 to 10 p.m. This week is religion. Next week we're gonna be doing politics. I appreciate you all being here. Deconstruction Junction, you guys are amazing. I appreciate you all being here. Ding Dong over on my personal YouTube. I appreciate you being here, man. You are amazing. Love you, bro. Thank you so much. Everyone who decided to watch over on the Black Atheist Coalition, you guys are amazing. Michelle, I love you so much. I appreciate that. Everyone who's here watching me on TikTok, I appreciate that. I love y'all. I'm going to be setting up a new gift goal for next week. Let me set up my new gift goal, as a matter of fact. I'm going to go ahead and set up a new gift goal for next live. The next live is going to be this Saturday, y'all. This Saturday, we're doing religion again. And this will be it for religion. And we'll be doing... Let me edit this real quick. All right, just give me a second, y'all. All right, like I said, for our next live... or actually for next week. For next week, our live will be about politics. We are done with religion, at least for a while. There we go. We're going to be done with religion, at least for a while. Coming this Saturday, that's going to be the last time we do religion, and then we're going to go ahead and move on to politics next Tuesday. So I appreciate everyone being here. If you're on the Black Atheist Coalition, I appreciate you, love you. Over on Deconstruction Junction, I appreciate y'all, love y'all. Over on my personal YouTube, I appreciate y'all, love y'all. Y'all amazing. Y'all have a good night. Peace.